This is going to be a fun nail to do, and I'm kind of just going to make it up as I go along. So I'm going to actually do an Edmonton Oilers aquarium nail today. You want to talk impractical and unrealistic? Well, this would be it. You can see that I'm using a very long tip, and it just works easiest to be able to show you how this effect works. It's so funny because the bubble flower nail that I did, man, oh man, the comments that I got, some of the comments, a lot of them I expected, which were, how that's so big, who would wear that? But there were actually some really nasty ones that I had to delete and block. And the fact that nail art can derive so much anger from some people, to me, is absolutely hilarious. Anyways, moving along. So I'm going to use one of these water oiler decals that I have, and then I'm going to use 3 different glitters and also these royal blue tiny hearts. Now, I noticed later on after doing the nail, I can't really see those hearts in there, but whatever. Like I said, making it up as I go along. So now I've taken a pencil and I've just marked onto the tip where I want the backing to go to, or where I want it to finish. Then I'm going to use the back of a form, the paper on the back of a form, because it's shiny, so it'll work well for this, and the gel won't actually stick to it. So as you can see, I just had some old forms in my drawer that I don't really use a whole lot anymore, so I'm just going to use one of these. And now I'm going to lay the tip onto the paper, and I'm going to mark with a pencil. I'm going to mark from the mark that I put on the tip to the very tip of the nail, so that when I go to put on the gel, I have my guideline of where I need to lay it down on the paper. Okay, so then I'm going to grab a tack-free gel. It's very important that you use a tack-free clear gel, because when you go to put the items inside the nail, you don't want there to be a residue that everything sticks to. Okay, so now I've got a generous but not overly thick nail of gel, and I'm just going to lay my tip in there, and I'm going to line it up, make sure that there's gel all on the outside, and I'm going to press it down slightly to flatten it. And then I'm going to use my handheld LED light to set it. And then once it's set, I'm going to throw it into my big LED light to make sure it gets fully cured. So now it's been fully cured, and it'll just pop right off. So you can see the backing is on the back of the nail there. And now that is where I'm going to put everything into. And now I'm just going to take a nail file and clean around the outsides. So now it's all cleaned up. Looks pretty good. That's all sealed, and I do double check just to make sure there are no holes there, because it'll defeat the purpose. So now I'm going to take some of these hearts, drop them in there. Then I'm going to take a little bit of all 3 of the glitters and put that in there as well. And then I'm going to use this tiny baster. It looks like a tiny turkey baster, but it's for nail techs to be able to get liquids out of jars. And then I'm going to use cuticle oil. So you can use cuticle oil or you can use baby oil. But you don't want to use water to put in here, because water will move around too much, where this kind of makes everything look like it's like the inside of a lava lamp, I guess. Moves slowly. So you don't want to fill it all the way to the top. You want to leave a little bit of space to give it room to move things around. So now I'm going to use a thicker clear gel to basically plug that hole, because it's not going to run inside of what I've already done. So I'm just going to use my handheld. I'm going to set that, and then I threw it in my light, my bigger light, to cure it. Now I'm going to grab one of my water decals, and the best way to use water decals is to make sure that you immerse it in water and let it sit for a bit, because then the decal will come right off. So I'm going to apply it backwards on the back of the nail so you can see it through the front. And I just applied a very thin coat of the tack-free clear top coat, cured it for 5 seconds so that it's still sticky, pulled the water decal off, and then applied it, and then applied more top coat over top and cured it. And then I just used a nail file to clean up the sides again. Now to add a little bit more to the nail, I'm going to use this really gorgeous royal blue glitter gel and fill in the base of the nail. And then I'm going to cure it. Then I'm going to use a really nice orange coppery gel for the tip. And you can see as I'm applying, you can see how the glitter is moving because it's floating around in there in the oil. Okay, I'm going to cure that. Then I wasn't happy with just the way that looked, so now I'm just going to add one of the Oilers oil drops to the front there. I'm just going to use that same orange coppery glitter gel and then cure it, and then I'm just going to outline it with a white gel. After I've done that, then I'm going to cure it again, and then I'm going to take a high gloss, high shine top coat, and I'm going to coat the front and the back of the nail and then cure it. And there, so now you can see as I'm moving the nail up and down that everything is moving inside. It's going to be really interesting to see the comments on this one.